Hello, Holistretch fam. My name is Frances Eve. If you live in the US or the UK, your health is under threat. And it is imperative that you listen to this video, that you dive deeper into it, and that you find solutions to support you, your family, your friends, and your community in finding health and freedom. This video will be divided into 3 sections. The first one will be about renowned medical journals and how they have been funded by big pharma. Number 2 will be about companies who are creating ultra-processed foods and companies who are creating drugs and how they are 2 arms of the same conglomerate, making billions off of you and I. And number 3 will be some suggestions on how we can resolve these issues, how we can support ourselves and those we love find freedom and health. If this subject is important to you, then please subscribe to the channel and support the work, as there is so much more to be done and to be shared. Let's dive right in. Let's talk about one of the most respected, most well-known journals of our time, the BMJ. The British Medical Journal has made over $1 million from, you guessed it, big pharma, specifically Pfizer. And Pfizer has made over $172 billion from one drug. That's right, billion with a B, from one drug, Lipitor. It's supposed to help people with cholesterol. Well, you would think that maybe the BMJ, maybe we just shouldn't read the medical journal, right? Well, you think it's just them. You'd be wrong. Unfortunately, medical journals are a multi-million-dollar business, and they take multi-millions of dollars to keep their businesses running. And who is funding their businesses more than big pharma? I don't know. Who would be? They have the most money. They're sending them clinical trials to post into their medical journals so that doctors can recommend them to their patients. Now, doctors aren't even allowed to look at these clinical trials. So you think, oh, maybe clinical trials are a good thing, right? You want to be able to read the clinical trial. Well, what if they were owned by the same companies who made the drug? Then would it even really matter? Maybe it's not completely truthful. In fact, there have been a lot of studies or clinical trials uncovered that actually didn't really cover the full truth of the matter. And so doctors are being incentivized to share these drugs from these clinical trials published in these medical journals, all paid for, all funded by the same company. And these doctors are getting financial incentives. They're getting promotions. They're getting speaking engagements just for sharing these drugs that they're not even allowed to look at the clinical trials that are paid for by the drug companies. Does this make sense now? Does this make sense? Medical journals publishing clinical trials on drugs that are paid for by the drug companies, and no one else can look at them. And people are being prescribed these drugs first. And we wonder why doctors don't prescribe holistic lifestyle or other ways of healing that are healthy and natural. There's no money in it. Now that we've talked about big pharma, let's talk about big food. Big food generally starts with a promising seed. Now today, these seeds are oftentimes genetically modified. That means there isn't even organic material to begin with. So we put this genetically modified ingredient in the soil, it blossoms into corn or wheat or soy, and then we create food from it. Now this could be bread, this could be corn, this could be whatever, but then what gets processed over and over and over again. Say that this corn becomes corn chips, this potato becomes potato chips, this bread becomes crackers, and then it becomes processed more and more and more when you start to see cakes and candy and things that don't even look like food anymore. And so with this separation and continuous separation, we're separating the food that once was or could have been from real food that is actual medicine. And it becomes alien to our bodies in such a way that our bodies have such a hard time digesting this food, and sometimes this food goes undigested. Ultra processed food is a cause for 32 major health concerns. In fact, the top 3 are heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and mental health issues. What are the top 3 problems that we're seeing in our world today? Heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and mental health issues. The same companies pushing these ultra-processed foods are the same companies dishing out the drugs to help you feel better from these foods. And remember, they're dishing out the drugs to help you feel better from those drugs that you were taking to help you feel better from the food that they made also. Okay, so big food making this, big farm making this drugs to help you feel better from big food who they're working with. Okay, you see it now? You understand that now? If you turn on the television and you see an advertisement for Doritos, for example, then you see an advertisement for some kind of pharmaceutical drug. It's because they're the same conglomerate. So you go out and you buy those chips, and over again, and through consistent time, you're eating ultra-processed food. It just becomes a natural part of your diet. Then you get sick, you get disease, you get ill. You need to take drugs to make yourself feel better. Oftentimes, these drugs have dire side effects, horrible side effects. So then you go to the doctor, they tell you to take this other drug to help you feel better from the drug that you just took to help you feel better from the food that's actually not really food. Okay? So these same companies are making the food to make you sick. They're making the drugs to make you better. And they are making billions of dollars off of you and I. So folks, there you have it. Now please don't run away with this video and think that Big Pharma is inherently evil. Listen, we need drugs, we need medications, we need these surgeries and things like that in dire straits. There are certainly times when we need to depend on Big Pharma. We need to depend on these medications to help us get better. So I'm not saying to throw them all the way out. I'm not saying throw the baby out with the bathwater. What I am saying is it's important for us to understand that it can be extremely dangerous for us to rely on these companies to help us feel better, to help us feel healthy, to depend on drugs to help us get better, to help us feel well. They can often be used in conjunction with holistic means in order for us to fully get better. So, not saying that they're completely bad. However, I am saying please use discernment and practice preventative measures. There is a doctor in India called Dr. Satish Gupta, and he has helped many people reverse heart disease the natural way. And he has been teaching them 3 lifestyle changes. The first lifestyle change is to eat organic whole foods and vegetarian meals. In his practice, he teaches people that eating these whole foods can help your body become whole and help your body heal faster. Now, these are real foods. So if you go to the store, look for labels that say organic, local, look for labels that say non-GMO. These are all very important labels to look out for. Now, a lot of us have financial concerns. Well, think about the long-term effects. The long-term effects of not eating organic could take a toll on your health. Another alternative is to only buy the top 12 organic foods. So there's something called a dirty dozen, and it's mainly fruits and vegetables. So if you can stick to organic fruits and vegetables, then that would suffice as taking better care of your health. Number 2, he mentions that it is imperative that we practice some type of meditation. It can be breath work, sitting in silence, anything that's going to connect you to your spiritual self, to connect you to your own mind, your own mental processes, We are inundated every single day with information overload, and it's sometimes really hard for our bodies to digest this information, just like it's hard for our bodies to digest fake food. And so we must learn to quiet our minds through taking the time to breathe, to practice meditating, sitting in silence. And I have lots of videos on meditation and on breath work if that's something you're interested. Number 3 is daily movement. Daily movement can be like a 30-minute walk outside. Now, being outside is extremely important. Receiving those sun rays is what is super, super healing. The fresh air and the sun rays are really what we need to heal. Taking a walk outside, being outside for 30 minutes, stretching, practicing yoga, tai chi, anything that's going to get your body moving and flowing. It doesn't have to be crazy, heavy weights or running. It doesn't have to be that. It can be that. All we need to do is connect with our bodies, strengthen our muscles, strengthen our bones. This is the best way to do it. Big Pharma will say you need to take a drug to feel better. You need this. Maybe you do, but perhaps you don't. Perhaps you don't. Maybe try preventative measures first. Please share this with anyone you know who could use this message of support, of healing, so that we can empower ourselves as a human family and we can learn to be healthy and free together.